Yes. Dr. Mindy in the house. All right.
I appreciate that.
The carnivore diet.
Because of what we eat.
Honestly, you've really touched my heart.
One of the things that happens with women over 40, specifically women, is as estrogen goes down, the collagen production goes down. So as a 52-year-old woman, I've had to really change and vary my workouts on a weekly basis. Otherwise, if I do the same thing over and over again, I'm more prone to injury. Are you seeing that with women as well as they age, that they're just, if we're not varying it, and you're the king of variation, that's really one of the things that P90X, I think, brought to us, was that it was so different and every day you were doing something different. But for the woman over 40, that's a real gift. So do you feel like you're seeing women in their 50s and 60s getting in better shape with less and more variation?
Absolutely. You know, I think the reason why most people struggle or they can't stick with anything long term, even if there's a bunch of variety in the mix, is they end up, getting bored, they end up plateauing, or they get hurt. You know what I mean? And so you're trying to avoid those three things at all costs. And if you can do that, then you're moving on the right track. The other thing is consistency and intensity. Consistency is everything. It's not like we show up to work 3 times a week and hope we're going to get paid. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm going to skip sleep tonight. No, you know what? I'm going to go on a 4-day fast and just not do anything. It really depends on the individual too, of course. But whether you're male or female, some basic rules apply. Hydration is obviously very important. Getting decent sleep is very important. Meditation, on a semi-regular basis is super important. Nutritious, non-inflammatory foods is really important. And it's less intensity is important. You want to be able to track to see if you're getting better, but only in tiny little increments. You know what I mean? It's not like you're going to, for the first couple of weeks, you're going to do X, and then like on day 30, you're just going to start lifting the roof or jumping higher. It just has to be in tiny little increments over time. That's really important as well. And I think if you stick to the variety and your sleep is great, your hydration is great, and you're staying off the alcohol and your non-inflammatory foods, whether it's pescatarian or veganism or vegetarianism or keto or whatever your thing is. And then you said something, which is spot on when it comes to exercise. It's like doing the same things over and over again, expecting you're going to turn out fine without injury, which is that's rare. It's not going to happen. And the same thing with food. You got to be really consistent with your food. And it's so funny. Like, people will say, I'm doing everything right. I'm doing everything that you're saying. And I'll go hang out with them for a couple of days. And I watch their workouts and I see what they're eating. And I'm thinking, like, a lot of people they don't live in the real world. They live in a kind of a fantasy version of the world, because they understand that regular exercise and super healthy eating and good sleep and all these things, it's very rare very rare to do it all right. Now, for me, it's taken decades for me to get there. It took me decades to become a vegan. I always thought it was kind of not enough calories for me, or not enough protein or whatever. And, so I had all these disbeliefs that I hung on to that were slowing me down, preventing me from getting as fit and as strong as I can. Who would think that just plants were going to do the job? But it works for me. You know what I mean? And so you have to you can't be too pious about it. You can't be too myopic about whatever you're doing. You got to be open to change and open to new information and open to new exercise strategies and things.